I'm Macy Eglund. Only in Newsday, Nassau police spent about $80 million on overtime last year. That exceeds its overtime budget by 64%, according to preliminary numbers. The commissioner says the spending is necessary. Happening today, the trial begins for hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs. Jury selection is taking place at federal court in Manhattan. Diddy, known for his lavish East Hampton white parties, is facing sex trafficking and racketeering charges. Fire in a classroom in Syosset. It broke out on the second floor of the Mercy First group home yesterday. No one was hurt. Firefighters believe the fire was caused by a malfunctioning air conditioner. The Trump administration has fired more than a dozen World Trade Center health workers. It's part of a plan to gut the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health. Senator Charles Schumer says services and payments could slow down or even be non-existent.
We think this is a disgrace. We think it has to be undone.
The cuts include scientists and nurses, as well as those who work in enrollment. Long Islanders paying tribute to loved ones killed by drivers impaired by drugs or alcohol. The Mad Walk was yesterday at Jones Beach. It raises money for services including guidance and emotional support. A memorial baseball game honoring the victims of a deadly West Babylon crash. Anthony Paliuca pitched for St. Anthony's yesterday at a game paying tribute to Bella Trezza and Riley Goot. They were killed when a car ran a red light last year. Paliuca was also in the car and was critically hurt. There's a lot of sore Long Islanders today after thousands of runners completed the Long Island Marathon yesterday. Benjamin Tuttle won on the men's side, and for the women, it was Alyssa Salisi. Congratulations to them. Not a terrible day yesterday for the marathon. Today, a little wet again. Let's take a look at your Monday forecast. That rain sticking around for a few days, unfortunately. You can see it's cloudy here this morning at Sag-Main Beach and Sagaponack this morning. And that rain, again, yeah, we've got it today, tomorrow too. We could see a thunderstorm this morning and later on tonight. We'll take a look at your futurecast as well so you can kind of plan out your day here. That rain lingers through tomorrow. Highs only in the low 60s. Hang on to the umbrellas because there are rain chances through really most of this week, unfortunately. But hey, we're already looking ahead to this weekend. Right now it looks to be dry. Saturday and Sunday looking sunny in the 60s and 70s.
Long Island weather is brought to you by Fire Island Ferries.
Only a Newsday, President Trump using his presidency to influence politics and policies here in New York. Newsday's White House correspondent Laura Figueroa Hernandez tells us about the potential long-lasting effects that his administration could have on us here on Long Island.
As President Trump and his administration weigh in on some of these bigger infrastructure projects like the Empire Winds project, like the Penn Station project, and they're also attempting to kind of rescind some of the money that was passed under the Biden administration for infrastructure projects. We can see that some of those projects are either going to slow down or outright be stalled. So, you know, he's in office for 4 years. That's not to say that those projects are completely evaporated. You know, there's always legal battles and legal recourses for the state and for some of these, you know, project managers to kind of try to get these projects going again. But obviously, it's going to cause a long delay. And you know, it'll probably be a source of contention 4 years from now when we go back to elect a new president.
You can read more on the story on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. Only a Newsday, a high school senior helped the 106 Rescue Wing battle the wildfire that threatened their West Hampton Air National Guard base. Ken Buffa has his story.
Fighting the flames, closing in on the 106th Rescue Wing Air National Guard base. Rocco Horton, an 18-year-old.
This was at the line when it jumped to the other side of the road.
Mattatuck High School senior, who was sworn in 2 weeks prior and who was enjoying his first drill day at the West Hampton base.
I looked out the window, I saw a huge plume of smoke.
While most teens would have run away from the flames, the Cutchogue volunteer firefighter
I went outside to see if how big it was.
Ran towards them, not before calling his mother to let her know what he was doing. and calling his father, who is also a firefighter and who was already on his way there.
This way, kind of just to give them a heads up of what to expect.
Wearing his dad's firefighting gear, Horton snatched from the trunk of his car. He headed out and quickly realized just how dangerous the West Hampton brush fire had become.
There was a second where me and one of the firemen from the 106 kind of looked at each other and we said, "Oh, this is not good." It came up on us like this. The flames were at least 50 feet tall, if not taller. Very violent.
As Horton and hundreds of others fought the flames from the ground, military planes attacked the roughly 600-acre brush fire from above.
They were starting to call in the Bambi buckets, and once they started doing that, they were flying right over us.
Hours later, the fire was contained. Horton was safe, and his mother finally got word on how he was doing.
Definitely started getting worried. I didn't know where he was. I didn't know who he was with. Does he have enough training to even be there?
My mom, when I got home, she gave me the biggest hug.
I'm just excited that he had the experience too. He was with a good crew. They really did take care of him, so I thank God for that.
As for his father,
it's different. It's not like your buddies are in it. As a dad, it's scary. Because stuff happens real fast.
A first drill day, a first time responding, but not the first time his mom, dad, and fellow airmen would be proud.
Just stay safe is what I told him, and he did.
Ken Bufa, Newsday TV.
Great story. You can read more about Rocco and how the 106 Rescue Wing battled that West Hampton brush fire on our website, newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box.
Newsday Sports is brought to you by Sun Nation Energy, helping Long Islanders save on their energy bills for over 20 years.
The Knicks are in Boston tonight for Game 1 of Round 2 of the playoffs. They're taking on the defending champion Celtics. Newsday's Steve Popper has a preview.
This is Steve Popper for Newsday Sports, and we're here in Boston where we can sit here and talk about the technical things of how the Knicks have to stop the Celtics three-point shooting, how they can stop Jason Tatum. But the first thing I think it starts with is belief. You know, how do they believe what maybe fans don't believe? How can you beat a Boston team that is the defending champs, that is at full strength again, and that swamped the Knicks 3 of the 4 meetings, beat them all 4 meetings? The Knicks have yet to beat one of the top teams in the East. So I think that's where it starts, and talking to them since the emotional win over Detroit, there's been a belief with them. They insist that they have confidence. They wouldn't come into this and play the games if they didn't believe that they could win. We talked, Jalen Brunson just talked about, a kind of a determination. Josh Hart talked today basically about exactly that. We don't consider ourselves underdogs. But they are underdogs, and they're going to go into this in a hostile environment, much like they did in Detroit, but against a team which is much better equipped to advance. But the Knicks were built for this. They were built for this matchup. Finding pieces that they thought they could contend with Boston. This is Steve Popper for Newsday Sports.
Read more about the Knicks on newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box.
It's a first-of-its-kind animated series on NHL Network, and its co-hosts are juniors at Chaminade High School.
I'm Thomas Gamba. And I'm Mike Seville.
Never did I think I would have an opportunity like this, and it's really cool.
NHL Hockeyverse Matchup of the Week is a 30-minute show that airs Saturday mornings on the network.
It allows us to bring a new perspective to the game of hockey.
Virtual reality and puck-and-player tracking technology allow chips in players' jerseys and sticks to bring the game to life.
But the defense was dominant from both teams in the first period.
So this is where all the magic happens. Once you put on this VR headset, what do you see?
So we see the whole entire hockeyverse.
It's time to get a little warm and fuzzy like that moose up there.
We're trying to target the 8-year-old kid who's watching on a Saturday morning, trying to pick more about hockey, kind of learn the game.
His favorite superhero is Superman.
We're leaning more into fun stuff, which I think makes our show different.
The pair started calling Chaminade games together as freshmen and now make the weekly trip from Mineola to Penn Station.
So this would probably look like something you do at Chaminade for a Chaminade game, right?
Definitely. This is a hockey game, but I just think it's like, just think of it as a Chaminade game. Prepare the same way. Obviously, I have more information at my disposal, so it just makes it easier for me. If I prepare the same way, if I prepare with the same hard work and all that, I know I'm going to succeed.
For Newsday TV, I'm Carissa Kelman.
Some seriously talented high school kids. That's great. You can read more about them on Newsday.com. Again, click Get More below that Newsday TV video box. It's now easier than ever to watch Newsday TV on your TV. We are officially streaming on Local Now. You can also find us on YouTube and all of the other streaming services that you see here. I'm Macy Eglund. Thanks for watching Newsday TV. Happy Monday.